Oh, I've been hit right in the feels. One Piece anime, keep this up. So we come into this episode, and yet again, another great episode of One Piece, and I just love being able to say that. I really do. The start of the episode, I mean, you know, it just had a lot of good content in this week's episode, and especially the ending. So the beginning bits with Bellamy and Dellinger, I think it's very important to Bellamy's character, and just kind of overall shaping where he's going. I think it took an ass whipping from one of the subordinates of the person that he admires and worships, and actually finding out that he was sent by the person that he admires to whip his ass and kill him really is helping to progress his character. And to be honest with you, it was kind of tragic in a sense. Imagine your role model. Imagine you look up to somebody like Michael Jordan, and then you get your ass beat and you find out that Michael Jordan sent those people to fuck you up. It would really hurt, but just imagine that on an even larger scale, where this guy has been following him for years and been really looking to be down with him at any cost. And to find out that this person doesn't give two shits and a fuck about you, it really sucks. And Dellinger's voice actor just really nailing that creepy performance and kicking him down. And to see Bartholomew jump in the way, I was like, I would love to see Dellinger and Bartholomew square off right now. But Bartholomew's defenses, fucking incredible. When he couldn't pierce through him, I was like, Bartholomew, like, you got some deep defenses, bro. And anyone else was cringing when Bellamy was running pathetically and he was like boinging everywhere, I would definitely say hands down, the anime delivered way better than the manga on that particular portion regarding Bellamy and Dellinger. I mean, him just running away pathetically and Dellinger just kicking the fuck out of him. It really displayed the tragedy and the carnage that was going on here. And again, I really feel like this is going to help to push this character into a better space. And it only took some tranny looking motherfucker to do it. We go into some Tontada stuff, and to be honest with you, the Tontadas, you know how I feel for the most part regarding them. I mean, they're subplot, and nonetheless, I feel as though they're weak subplot, and they're really annoying subplot at the same time. So finding out a little bit more of their goal or whatever, I was like, okay, whatever. At the end of the day, it's the Tontadas, and then Frankie making his hair look like some sort of fucking missile was like, Frankie, you're a little bit too loco for me, bro. But yeah, fuck the Tontadas. And hands down, the best piece of this episode, and one of the best parts of this entire arc thus far, Sabo there. I mean, we all know it's fucking Sabo. They showed everything except his eyes, but come on. If it fucking looks like a duck, it smells like a duck, it's Sabo. And the voice actors nailed it. Hands down, Luffy's voice actor in particular, she did an incredible job at displaying that deep emotion. At first being confused, and to be honest with you, I don't blame him. I mean, at the end of the day, he thought this person was dead, but like those last few words towards the end of the episode as well, he was like, I thought you were dead. I thought, you know, he was dead this entire time. I thought he died at that moment. It was just like perfect. Like, she absolutely nailed it. And it kind of makes you wonder a lot of different things regarding Sabo, because when we see Koala as well, which, shocker, Koala, holy fucking shit. If you don't remember Koala, that was one of the people in Fisher Tiger. That was the little girl that was with him and whatnot. All grown up and looking beastly as ever. So we got some epic shit there as well. And it kind of makes you wonder what happened when she's talking to Sabo and she's kind of referring to the war, the Whitebeard War, and how we don't know if you would have been there, if you could have changed things or make things different. Like, why wasn't he there? What happened? A lot of questions to be made, and overall, humongous setup and build up and kind of getting a little bit of characterization as to who Sabo is right now. You can definitely hear it. He is filled with some regret, and it makes you wonder, what was it? Why didn't he come save his brother? And a quick little tidbit here. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the relationship between Luffy, Ace, and Sabo was inspired from Three Kingdoms, in particular Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the relationship between Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and Guan Yu. These are three brothers that they're not particularly blood related per se. They don't have, you know, blood relation, but they made an oath together at a peach garden that basically they were going to be brothers for the rest of their lives, and they will all die together. So definitely reminds me of that. I don't know if that's the direct inspiration, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised, and it just kind of dawned on me with this week's episode, thinking like, holy fucking shit. And just getting the little reference and seeing the grave of Whitebeard and Ace and the little 3 sake cups, it was just perfect. Honestly, the end of this episode, absolutely moving, very fucking hard hit in the feels, if you know what I mean. I was just like, Luffy must be going through a wide variety of emotions right now. And I really like it when we get to tap into Luffy a little bit more, because a lot of times he's just goofy, you know, he wants to joke around. But when you get a little bit deeper into the character and get to see a little bit more of the emotional side and a little bit of the darker side of what's inside of Luffy, I really think it gives a different perspective on Luffy, and an interesting one at that. And seeing Sabo dressing up as Lucy, so to speak, Luffy's disguise, whatnot, just really gets me pumped to see more of it. In all honesty, the anime definitely did some of this material a lot better than the manga in particular. All of the Bellamy stuff with Dellinger, simply because of the voice acting and the amount of extra tragedy they put into it, of him getting fucked up and having to be saved and everything. They did a great job of that. The Sabo stuff, it was definitely way more shocking in the manga and way more, like, you know, nail biting, so to speak, because it was just really vague up until a lot later on. But for the most part in the anime, it really just looks absolutely obvious. But that doesn't necessarily say that it's bad. It's just not as shocking. It's just more so heartfelt, I feel. Although, to be honest with you, in the manga there was just a wide variety of emotions. So to be fair, they both had their different takes on it. And with all that being said, a very good episode this week. Actually a great, honestly, the only thing was the subplot with the Tontadas that just really feels uninteresting, uninspired, and it's just like, yeah, it's subplot, yeah, it has some sort of connection, and yeah, there's like some jokes here or there and a setting up for some of the characters, but it just really breaks into like some deep and intense stuff. Like, especially, like, you know, it's bad when I'm really enjoying a scene with Bellamy and the Tontadas can't even like be interesting enough to compete with that. But nonetheless, giving this one a 9 out of 10. I mean, that Sabo stuff speaks volumes about the depth of One Piece, and just like, man, he's back, baby. Him and Koala, and it's like, I want to know more. So many questions arise from that. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, if you were a manga reader seeing this in the anime, how do you feel about the different experiences that you had with it? Did you feel it was a little bit more emotional? Were you a lot more shocked in the manga? I honestly feel as though you were probably way more shocked with the manga, but maybe you felt a little bit more emotional with the anime, because the soundtracks that they were playing as well in those scenes, it was just like, who's cutting onions right now? Fuck. And overall thoughts of this week's episode, I honestly felt they handled it very well for the most part. And again, 9 out of 10. Great stuff. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you can do so as well, that would be awesome. I'm Finette World. And as always, people, have an awesome day.